When I show up in the morning to walk with the ladies that I walk with, I am not thinking about end goals on that. I'm not thinking about a weight. I'm not thinking about muscle mass. I'm not thinking about, if I get up every morning and I walk with these women and I have these wonderful conversations, then I am walking toward health.
Welcome to More Than Small Talk. We're Susie Eller,
Jennifer Watson,
and Holly Girth, writers and real-life friends. We're inviting you to go deeper, become freer, and feel more connected.
So imagine you have a cup of coffee, a mug of tea, or a green smoothie in your hand,
and we're all hanging out in your favorite place together.
Happy New Year, More Than Small Talk friends, if you are listening on the day that this releases. And if you're listening later, still happy 2026 to you, wherever it is. Or if you're in another year, then enjoy remembering. So today we are talking about planning. We're going to do kind of a mini series about planning. So today we're going to talk about making plans, and we're going to cover just engaging with God's plans for our lives, and then how we adapt when plans don't go the way we thought. So we are kicking it off with talking about what helps us as we make plans, because many of us are in planning mode at the start of a new year.
Before I ask the confession question, can we just pause and celebrate the fact that we have just went into our 7th year?
7 years.
More Than Small Talk.
That is a big deal.
That is huge. That is a great big deal. So I'm going to ask the confession question. We all plan differently. So what, and I feel like, Holly, you're going to be like the lead on this.
I feel like she needs to go first.
What planning tips, tricks, or strategies are helpful for you?
Yeah. Okay. I really am going first. Yeah. Okay. Well, this came out of a coaching session that I did with someone where she wanted to plan the first 90 days of 2026.
Oh, wow.
Which can feel overwhelming. And I love trying to make complicated things simple. Okay. And so we went through an exercise where you would draw a circle on a piece of paper and put in the circle first 90 days or whatever. You could do this for 30 days, the whole year, whatever planning time, even a week or a day, you could do this for any amount of time. So the amount of time. And then you draw spokes off that for each area that you want to plan in. So let's say health. Let's pick that one because a lot of us are thinking that because of all the no bakes we have eaten. I talked about how it was the Christmas of no bakes for me. So let's say you want to plan for health. And so then you would think about what's the why there. So maybe the why is I want more energy in 2026. And then you ask yourself the how am I going to make that happen? So it might be every day I'm going to have a nap and a snack. Mm-hmm. I'm going to keep this low pressure. And so the how, you need a specific step that you are going to take. And then you need when. And this is the part that most people skip. They don't schedule it. Yes. And if it doesn't get scheduled, it's not going to happen. And that doesn't have to be rigid. It can be, every day I'm going to make this happen at some point. Or it can be, I'm going to plan for 2:00. And if something bumps that, I'm going to reschedule. But it just matters to say, when exactly am I going to do this? Okay. And so you would repeat that for any other behaviors in that area of your life that you want to implement. And then you would move on to the next area. So finances, relationships, spirituality, until you've got a whole diagram of all the things that you want to plan for in the next 90 days.
Wow.
And then that gives you a 1-page visual summary that then when you're whatever daily planning tools you like to use, like a calendar or whatever it is, you would pull that back up and review it, like a 1-minute review, and say, what steps do I need to take today to keep moving forward with this?
Okay. So what's interesting is Jennifer and I are both taking this seriously. Because I would say that for me, planning is daily, it's very hard for me to think about planning for 90 days. So I'm taking this all in. I think it's so good. My planning tips, tricks, or strategies that are helpful for me is to kind of have an overview of what you're talking about, but then to show up in that morning and plan for that day is to say, okay, Lord, what is going to bring you joy today? And then also, Susie, what do you have that is before you, and how are you going to break that down into manageable bite-sized pieces to work toward that? So that's how I work.
Yeah. So how I work is I have to see it on paper. So I have a paper calendar. I have to see it. It has to be written down. I also have it on my Google Calendar, but really visually, I need to see it out in front of me. And so I plan for the month. And then what I do is I do like a 5 bullet points because I feel 5 is doable. And so if I get to 3, I'm like, good. But like 5 feels manageable, and I can do that in a month. I can schedule the things that I'm wanting to do. And so that's kind of my strategy with ADD and being a mom and being all over the map creatively. I need it to be compact and concise when I'm making plans.
Okay. So is it, and Holly, I'm really kind of centering you as the expert here because you are a coach. This is your realm of expertise. So do you meet a person where they're at, brain wiring, life, all of that, as you begin to make plans for the year ahead?
Yeah, definitely. Like the system I just described is a system. And it works for people who love something visual that is one page they can refer to.
Yeah.
And that is long term.
Yeah.
And so that's not for everybody. Like someone else is going to prefer a really detailed daily to-do list. I get overwhelmed by those.
Yeah.
And so I tend to like want a big picture that I'm overall taking steps toward. But I'm a macro planner, not a micro planner. And I think that's helpful to know what you are. One's not better than the other.
Yeah. Right.
But one is going to do big picture planning and one's going to do more detailed planning.
Yeah.
And so saying, am I a macro planner? Am I a micro planner? Am I processed focused or outcome focused? So some people are motivated by outcome. So, I don't know, if in your job, if you're a salesperson, I want this amount of sales by the end of the year would be an outcome-based goal. I want to make one new relationship while I'm on the job every day would be a process-based goal.
That's good.
So process-based people are overwhelmed by outcome-based goals. And outcome-based people are undermotivated by process goals. So it helps to know too. And so it's like when you have a big accomplishment, do you get excited? Like when you cross the finish line, when you hit the number, is that when you're like, okay, I finally feel great about this? Or is it when you're showing up to run every day or to, add for us a few more words to your page, then that the process is the reward. So it's helpful to know that too, because we're in an outcome-based culture overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I work with a lot of people who are like, that does not do it for me.
Yeah.
I get overwhelmed.
Yes.
I feel frustrated. And I'm like, that's because you're process-based.
It's really helpful.
Yeah, it's so helpful.
So when you're planning even, you want to keep that in mind to say like, do I love to do things repetitively that are smaller, or do I want one big thing that I'm shooting for in the end?
Okay. This is really helpful.
Yeah.
Holly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say 100% I'm processed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So when I show up in the morning to walk with the ladies that I walk with, I am not thinking about end goals on that. I'm not thinking about a weight. I'm not thinking about muscle mass. I'm not thinking about, I get up every morning and I walk with these women and I have these wonderful conversations, then I am walking toward health. And that feels not just health for my body, but health for my heart, because there's social with that. And I feel good that I showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, friends, we are so excited that we are going into our 7th year of More Than Small Talk. That is not possible without you sitting in that 4th chair. One of the things that you do that brings us such joy, but it also gets the message out about More Than Small Talk, is when you both follow us on your podcast platform, but also when you leave a review. That makes such a difference. So if you have a moment, if you would just take time to share what More Than Small Talk means to you, leave that review, a 5-star review if you would like to, and let others know what More Than Small Talk means to you, and perhaps they'll join in that 4th chair too.
So this can be helpful too, especially we're talking New Year's resolutions.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So like you would not want to maybe say, I'm going to run a marathon, and you're picturing, you know, you're going to want to say, I'm going to walk every day.
Yes.
So outcome-based people need milestones, and process people need rhythms. So how am I going to know I'm moving toward the big goal for the outcome people? And what are my rhythms, or am I going to repeat in my life for the process focused people?
So this explains some of the frustration that some people might feel when we talk about things like New Year's resolutions. I personally hate New Year's resolutions, always have. And because I feel like they just set me up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but if I can say, hey, I do want to be healthier this year. So I'm going to implement as part of my day this rhythm. So I know that I'm working toward it. And that's not frustrating.
No, that's motivating, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very
Where
motivating.
an outcome-based person was like, that seems kind of boring. Like I need a big shiny thing that I'm going to get in the end.
Sure.
And that's okay. That's just different wiring.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and this can be helpful to know about your people, especially if you're a leader of people.
Yes.
Knowing whether your people are outcome driven or process driven is important, because it's going to change how you motivate them.
Yeah.
And if you're a parent, same with your kids. If you have an outcome driven kid,
important.
you know, a process driven kid isn't necessarily going to be motivated, but like, you're going to get a toy at the end of this. It's going to be like, you're going to get a piece of candy every day, you know? So even thinking about in leadership roles or parenting roles, any role where you're trying to motivate someone, knowing like if they're outcome driven or process driven can be really helpful. And for teams, you probably need both, because you likely have a hybrid of people.
Yeah.
So
if we don't understand the way that we're wired, how does that trip us up as we're going into this new year and we're feeling this pressure to do all of these plans? How does that mess us up?
yeah, I think we end up feeling like we're doing something wrong or we're failing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like from process driven people, I even heard this recently from someone. She hit a major milestone and people were like, aren't you so excited? Like, isn't this the best thing ever? And she was like,
Same.
I just want to move on to the next thing.
That's
Because the process is the reward for her. And she was like, something's wrong with me. And I was like, nothing's
No.
wrong with you. Like,
That's good. Good to
didn't
know.
you love the process to getting here? She's like, oh yeah, that was so rewarding. I was like, that was your reward. Like you got your reward all along the way.
yeah.
And so, and then, you know, the reverse of people who are like, I'm outcome driven. They may feel frustrated with themselves if they find repetitive things kind of unfulfilling or unmotivating and they have to push through. They may say like, oh, what's wrong with me? Like, don't I really love my job, or don't I really care about this area of my life? You do.
Yeah.
You just need that thing that you're moving toward in the end to keep you motivated along the way.
Yeah.
So I think for both types, like just acknowledging what motivates me and knowing that whatever that is, it's okay. And what doesn't motivate you is not failure. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just not a fit.
Yeah.
And so adapting accordingly in different situations, like if you're in a scenario where you're in an organization that has an outcome driven goal and you're a process driven person, you probably want to make your own goal to go alongside that, or vice versa. So that you don't feel like, oh, something's wrong with me. You're just like, this is how I'm wired. This is what's going to motivate me. I'm going to align with that.
That's good.
Well, I know that one of the things that we've talked about, Holly, in past podcasts, but I think it's important in this conversation, is also to understand what you need as you make those plans. For example, I know this about Holly and myself. I don't need anybody to motivate me. I just don't. And that doesn't make me stronger or better. It's just, again, the way that I'm wired is like I kind of set my own pace. I show up. I know that I'm going to finish that goal at some point as I keep working through it. But there are also others of us that need community as we do this. And so can we talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, there's a framework that I love. It's Gretchen Rubin's 4 Tendencies, and she talks about how we respond to expectations. You can take a quiz on her site. But most people are what she calls obligers, which means they readily meet expectations that are outward, but struggle with inward expectations. So if they set a goal for themselves without any outward accountability, it's going to be harder. And again, not failure. They're relational goal setters, which I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
But if that is you, if you find yourself saying, I want to do this and struggling to do it unless someone else is involved, then it's okay to embrace that and be like, that is how I'm wired. That is how most people are wired, actually. And so accountability, not in a stern way, but in a relational way, can really help with that. So that's, I think, saying like outcome versus process, and then relational versus kind of independent, which one, what kind of support do I need in place in order for this to be likely to happen? And for a lot of people, that's involving at least one other person, just even telling someone in your life, hey, this is what I'm moving toward. Do you want to do this with me? There are tons of even online groups now where you can find that.
Yeah.
Some people even like having an app to help them be accountable can be a form of it.
Yeah.
But just saying like, it is okay if I need that. Like that just means I'm highly relational. That's a beautiful thing. It's not a failure.
Right.
So that is one of the top recommendations that Susie and I give to writers is have someone involved in your process in whatever way works best for you.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, this is the first in our series of about planning going into the new year. And so, Jennifer, do you have anything to say as we...
I've just learned so much. So thank you for this. Like I have notes and I'm going to rewrite these, but I just think all of these tips are really helpful. And I just hope that everybody can kind of take it in and look forward to this new year with hope and expectation that God's just going to be right there with you as you make your plans.
So making a plan is about knowing the way we're wired, what we need, and starting there.
And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for going deeper, becoming freer, and connecting with us. More Than Small Talk is a part of the KLRC Podcast Network and is produced by Kara Culver. Show notes and resources are available on the More Than Small Talk page on klrc.com. You can also join us in our Facebook group. Subscribe to More Than Small Talk on your favorite app so you won't ever miss an episode.